I just wanted to go live and discuss something that I've studied for a while. I actually took a few courses about privacy laws and kind of the laws that we have in the United States that are intended to protect our privacy, but I really don't think they do a very good job of that, especially in the year 2000 and beyond. I think the privacy laws we have in the US have gotten kind of notoriously outdated and are kind of sloppily applied to new technology, the internet, and now social media and other platforms on the internet that kind of involve people's privacy, involve people's information, whether that's certain medical records, whether that's certain communications, or just data about information, or about people rather. We've seen many cases that involve the sharing of people's information, the transmission or leaking of information, but the laws that apply to these cases were never intended to apply to the internet. So many of the laws that are kind of referenced in these cases apply to like police officers coming into someone's home and whether they're able to view certain documents that they find in a person's home, and like what a warrant does. So if the police have a warrant to enter your home to look for something and they find something else unrelated that they didn't have a warrant for, that's kind of how these laws work, is they apply to people coming into your home, or wiretapping, which, just listening to your phone calls. But then they try to apply those laws to the internet. So if the police come into your house and they're able to connect to your Wi-Fi, or your computer's on, are they able to go on your computer? Is that the same as going on, or opening a desk drawer and going through your paper files? See, I think that's completely different and should really have different laws that apply to that. And we haven't done a good job of replacing the existing laws in the United States or amending them so that they do apply to the internet and that they do effectively protect the privacy of the US citizens. I think that if we're trying to apply these laws in the past, we're kind of just doing the best we can to make them align with the particular cases that we run into. But we're not going to get the best outcomes. We're not going to be able to protect people's privacy. We're not going to be able to put the rights of the individual first if we're, just trying to apply precedent based on laws that were, maybe established in the early 1900s, maybe late 1900s, but still not in a world where the internet was as widespread as it is today. I can think of certain cases that allow people to kind of, based on which state you're in, you might be able to say, listen to someone's phone call, but just if you have the consent of one party on the phone line. So if I call you and I have given consent to be tracked or to have the call monitored, then the government can legally do that depending on which state I'm in. But if we try to apply that to something like, Facebook collecting my information, well, sure, Facebook has given consent. So is the transmission of my data between me and Facebook, is that the same as a phone call between me and someone else? I don't know, but it still just seems sloppy that we're trying to apply these laws to technology that didn't even exist in the time that the laws were at least created, or when the cases were originally going through the courts. But I think we need to improve the laws that we have on privacy in the United States if we're going to effectively protect the privacy of the citizens. We saw after 9/11 that the NSA and the US government kind of took as many rights as they could as far as monitoring citizens, and they used terrorism as the motivation to do that. And while I do think it's great that we're able to protect our citizens from terrorist attacks, from foreign attacks, I think that's great, but if it comes at the expense of every single citizen's privacy, I'm not sure it's totally worth it. And I think that, you know, even though 9/11 did happen, I think having those laws still in effect today that allow the government to spy on people's communications isn't necessarily the best thing. So if you're a legal expert with privacy laws, I'd love to talk to you. So drop me a line in the comments or send me an email, and I'd love to have a chat about how you think the privacy laws in the United States are working, if they're effective, and how we can kind of reform them to give power back to the people in the United States and improve the privacy protections that they're afforded under the US Constitution and the laws we have in place. So thanks for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. I'd really appreciate it. And otherwise, stay tuned for more videos, and I'll talk to you guys soon.